Hey, Christ community, I hope you're doing well and having a great week on this Thursday morning. I have an exciting announcement for you that I'm really thrilled and pumped to share with you. You know, the last couple of years through the pandemic has been a challenge for all of us, but in particular and specifically, the church has really learned a lot about itself. And I don't mean specifically only Christ community, but the church across the country and around the globe has learned new ways to exist. And the research is showing us that the great return to church is probably not happening quite as dramatically or the way that we anticipated and expected as we come out of the back end of the pandemic. That means then the church that went into the pandemic is going to look a lot different than the one coming out of it. So how do we address that? How do we handle those new circumstances in this new reality that we live in? Well, if the pandemic taught us anything, it is that we need to be more accessible remotely from a distance and able to communicate our Christ community message from afar. And so I want to kind of really invest in that. And with that comes an opportunity that I am stoked to share with you. A young man by the name of Jake Utter is a senior at Olivet Nazarene University. He is a media ministry major, and oh, by the way, he happened to be the drummer for The Narrow, the band that came from Olivet a few weeks ago with Dr. Chenoweth and led worship for us. So you've actually probably already seen him around and met Jake. Jake is an incredible young man who worked for me in my days in my previous life at Olivet for several years. He is coming this summer to do a media ministry internship right here with us at Christ Community. I'm really excited to have him on board and in place this summer to do some very specific work with our media presence. There's a lot of layers to that, and that means a lot of different things. So let me explain to you what I'm thinking. The first is our social media presence and some things that we can do there to get connected on social media platforms to get our Christ community message out to more people. Then also to work with Pastor Chad as an intern in our media and our live stream of what we do in our service. There's two really kind of different concepts of how to do that live stream concept with our church. One is a live stream where it's kind of like you're looking into the front window of a store, looking and watching what's going on in the room, but you're not really there. The second, which I think is probably the better fit for us, is an online campus where we are able to build connection and community and pastor and care for folks who are unable to be in person and attend Christ Community here in our facility. It gives us the opportunity to connect with more people and again, get that Christ Community message out to everyone and anyone that we can. Jake will step in and help us address some issues, work on some projects to really do some neat things with that as he interns under Pastor Chad. It's going to be a great opportunity for Jake to learn and grow and see what ministry is like at an incredible and healthy church like Christ Community. But then also Jake will be doing some really neat projects for us too that will help us advance our media presence and the communication of that Christ Community message to the masses. So the church looks a little bit different across the board around the globe from what went into the pandemic to the ways we have to function and think through things differently coming out of the pandemic. And I'm excited to have Jake Utter as a media ministry intern on board here at Christ Community to help us address those issues. Jake will be starting at the beginning of May once graduation happens there on campus in Bourbonnais, Illinois at Olivet Nazarene University. And we'll have a welcome train, everything. We'll roll out the red carpet for Jake because he's an incredible young man that we're excited to have a part of our community. So if you have questions, feel free to ask me. It's a great opportunity for the church to expand our impact and reach, and we're excited to have Jake on board. So have a great day, and we'll see you soon. You're awesome, Christ Community.